Triple K, yeah, Lishki, Saka, Saka, hustle, hustle, ha ha, every day people just hustle, hustle, ha ha, level up your business, hustle, ha ha, come hard life is face, hustle, Saka, mula, tazidi kufuta savi pumzi, watabaki wakivuta kabumbi, tunasonga kama motodudi, tukilevel up to something. Tulitoka just from nothing, tunapanda up to a highlight, tukiwa hard na kustrive, kama sasa napanda nafanya na saka passion kila mara, kuna kuforget place tumetoka, juu tumechoka kugoja mabolo tupoke hizi madola, juu tumesota na wera tobonda, lakini mola tulola kwa maisha bora, kuna kuchoka chora safi kila kona, hustle, hustle, ha ha, everyday people just hustle, hustle, ha ha, level up your business, hustle, ha ha, kangu ha life is face, hustle, saka, mula, hustle, hustle, ha ha, everyday people just hustle, hustle, ha ha, level up your business, hustle, ha ha, kangu ha life is face, hustle, saka, mula, bado mina rap this low life, nikisaka tu hizi mula, nikiweka bila kutoa, nikificha white na sura, wasijue tu mina weka, one day boom in a ball, keep dreams up so high, keep strong out in my mind, saka, pesa, saka, mula, saka, money, saka, wera, saka, janta, saka, kazi, saka, mula, saka, mula, hustle, hustle, ha ha, everyday people just hustle, hustle, ha ha, level up your business, hustle, ha ha, kangu ha life is face, hustle, saka, mula, hustle, hustle, ha ha, everyday people just hustle, hustle, ha ha, level up your business, hustle, ha ha, kangu ha life is face, hustle, saka, mula.
Yes, that is the jam right there. It's known as Hustle. And of course, that is by the one and only Triple K jam that came out some years back. I believe that was about 2 years ago. Yeah, that was, no, actually 3 years ago. That is when this particular jam came out. We are live on Podcast Live 254. And of course, welcome to the show. I'm hoping that your day has been is coming along just fine, and that your weekend has been even greater. In case you're joining us for the very first time, feel free to connect with us on our socials. You can find us on Instagram, Pomzi Africa. You can also find us on Twitter, Pomzi Africa, as well as on Threads, even on LinkedIn for the professionals. Someone might be wondering why we are leaving out the professionals out. We are also right there on LinkedIn, and you can always connect with us and let us know how it is going for you and how your week has started. I understand that when it comes to planning, you do make your plans very, very early before you start out the week. So what are you planning to what do you purpose to achieve this particular week? I would love to know. And what are you looking forward to this particular week as well? My name is Spikes, and we have the one and only Melita as well. Rachel, how are you doing?
I'm good, Spikes. Just had a good weekend and everything is okay.
All right, that's wonderful to hear that your weekend was interesting, and maybe perhaps you were able to achieve what you had set to achieve that particular weekend. For me, it has been just another mundane, ordinary weekend. There wasn't much of a highlight. Actually, there wasn't any event that I was attending that particular weekend. But nonetheless, I was just about making some observations about how a couple of things are going on. And I would just like to say that things are really, I was moving around and listening to, sometimes I listen to conversations when I'm moving around and I hear what people are talking about. I'm not snooping on conversations, but I came across these particular guys that were particularly excited and they were looking forward to this week. They were looking forward to Thursday. They were talking about Nane Nane. And I don't know, have you heard about, have you had any excitement or any, not excitement, but any maybe you can call it anxiety or excitement about Nane Nane. Have you had these particular conversations or convos around, or even on social media?
Okay, maybe on social media, but I
Yeah,
haven't like seen something that will give me information about it.
yeah, yeah.
Just people commenting about it. Yeah, maybe if
Uh,
you have more details, you can share.
yeah. No, no, not exactly, but people were actually saying it was actually some conductor. Ilikuwa conductor, and I think a mat conductor. Na alikuwa si kama alikuwa anaongelesha abiria ama alikuwa anaongelesha, I think it was another fellow conductor there. And they were saying that Nane
Yeah.
Nane will actually just be what they are looking forward to this particular week. You know, I was saying that wiki ikianza kila mtu anakuanga na something to look forward to. So for those two particular guys, they were actually just excited. You know, they had that, you know, conversation going, and I don't know if it's anxiety or excitement. I don't know what to call it.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, we are here, and we shall be making reports regarding as things unfold. But I would say August is looking good so far. How is your August looking so far?
August is amazing actually. Towards the end of July, I also had a great time, so I'm hoping
Yeah.
August will be good. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know if you have made some observations in the previous years. Some people talk about August being a month where, you know, there are so many road carnage, road accidents are going on in August, and, you know, other things that are said about August. And there are stereotypes. Some of them are stereotypes. I don't know them to be true, but you might hear people talking about, oh, August is a very dangerous month. You know, that is when this and that happened. That is when this and that other thing happened. But nonetheless, on the podcast 254 Live, we just want to keep it very, very optimistic and positive. And we are hoping that the outcome of this particular month will be better than last year's August or, you know, the year before. We are hoping that the outcome of this particular one will be wonderful. So welcome to the show. For those who are joining us for the very first time, once again, feel free to connect with us on our socials. You can find us on Instagram. You can also find us on Twitter and also on Facebook as well. Just search for Pomzi Africa. Today we shall be discussing matters. We shall be trying to keep it a bit positive. You know, sometimes you're looking into the news, the headlines, and you do not find anything positive.
Positive. Yeah.
Wanasemanga negative news ndio zinauza. Si kama ushaangalia magazeti unashindwa, ai, is there anything positive to be reported about? But
And also,
yeah,
they have been
go on.
trying to get at journalists for trying not to put positive things. They always focus on negative. So they think that sometimes journalists are gatekeeping, like wanna choose what to tell out here.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I don't think it has to do even with the journalist. I think it's human nature. Let me tell you something. For me, what I have observed, you know, with human nature, the nature of people, when you're talking to people, you realize that negative news spreads faster. For example, if I came up to you and I was telling you, oh, I just got a job promotion and these are going very, very good for me, and I have gotten these other contracts, you know, now things are shaping up. And then someone else comes up and tells you that, you know, they have just been fired from work, you know, they lost a job contract. There is a likelihood that you might go and tell your friend about, when you compare these two news, the negative news will actually spread faster. If someone lost their job and someone actually lost a contract, that news will actually spread faster kushinda kitu positive. And that is what I've actually noticed with the human nature. People tend towards negative news than they tend towards the positive news. So I wouldn't really blame the journalist. Maybe naweza sema pia ni kitu imekuwa na society at the end of the day, and that is our problem as a people, as a human race. Nonetheless, today we want to talk about the vetting of cabinet secretaries. That has happened last week. Actually, even yesterday was a very busy day for Parliament. And the only time I do see Parliament working overtime is when wanajiongeza mishahara. That is when I do see Parliament going another extra mile, kufanya kazi, you know, extra hours and things like that. I know kuna ile overtime wanalipwa, but this time they were working extra hours because of the vetting of these cabinet nominees. I want to share with you one video of the vetting of Alfred Mutua. And we shall be giving a bit of a reaction from this particular one, because Alfred Mutua in the previous government, he has served as a Minister of Foreign Affairs. But nonetheless, let me share this video of his vetting, and you shall let me know what you feel about his performance in the previous ministry, and whether you think that there is hope, even with the Ministry of Labor, where he's going to be sent to, if he's actually approved by Parliament. Let me share this.
Offers. On a light note, because now maybe you're going to be confirmed as Waziri for Labor and Social Protection. Kenyans are thinking that you should minimize this drama, especially on your marital status, because somehow they can jeopardize your character or put you in a very negative situation. Because we want to see that even our cabinet secretaries.
You asked
about opulence. Yes.
I think there is no requirement for one to be married to be considered for public office in this country.
I'm saying that drama, there'll be some drama. You have talked about opulence. You talked about opulence on Murchumba Murkomen. You talked about opulence on Honorable Jogo.
This committee will not open anybody's bedroom. Sharia, stop laughing and ask your question.
I think, Chairman, it's best to protect people's bedrooms, as you said. We don't want those matters coming up.
What has been seen from this particular clip is that sometimes people like to focus on issues. Whether this particular guy parted ways with the woman, you know, there was that particular woman that was married by taken from Alfred Mutua by this Giuliani. But what do you make of this particular question and his marital status being ambiguous? Is he married? Is he not married? And also the whole question that was posed to him. Your reaction to this video?
For this case specifically, we can't blame people for focusing on that, because for a long time that drama was what we used to know about Alfred Mutua, like not for what he does in government, but most of the time it was about the relationship, because even he was posting, like he was like communicating about it, so ikakuwa that's about it. Like when people remember him, they just remember about the wife, the Giuliani, those dramas that were happening. It's not the people's fault. It's also his fault for even participating in the argument, the drama, And also, people are saying he was doing some things behind the scenes to pick on Giuliani or something, like trying to get back at him. But I think it is what it is. Sometimes if you have the drama, then it will follow you even in Parliament. So that's what I think it is. Yeah.
And of course, there was the whole important issue of when he becomes the Minister for Labor or the Cabinet Secretary for Labor. Some weeks ago, we were talking about a report that was shared by Musalia Mudavadi, talking about so many people having lost their lives and others even coming back from Saudi Arabia, in a warring condition, And also Mutua was also being asked what he would do to address this particular whole issue of, domestic, not just domestic workers, but just people migrating to other different countries to go look for jobs. Not necessarily domestic workers. Sometimes you hear even people going for security jobs, others going for, jobs to do with cooking and things like that, to work in hotels, hospitality and other areas like that. But this is, of course, his response, and you can also share your feedback. But let me just share this particular video faster of his response, because there was a vetting of Alfred Mutua, and we are giving a reaction.
Ensure that we have agreement. The challenge we have is that for your questions, let me start from the very beginning. One of the things that I want to do in terms of labor migration is ensure that we have agreement. The challenge we have is that people, when they go out to this country, they go as themselves. And at times they get abused and they don't get the right protection. This is because of the bilateral labor agreement. We have only signed 4, which were signed before this government got into place. And we have another pending 16, 17. My move is to get close to 30, if not 50 bilateral labor agreements by going through the hoops. I've been able to do a bit of research, and the problem is the bureaucracy that we have within our government system. By working with my colleagues, and I'll bring it up to cabinet if appointed, if pass the vetting by this house, is to ensure that we break the bureaucracy so that we can move faster in terms of processing bilateral labor agreements, so that we can be able to get into that. Now, when it comes to the issues that you mentioned of a lady called Judith, I tend to remember that we had a function at KICC where we had different stands, and the stand of Foreign Affairs and Diaspora was next to the stand of Ministry of Labor. And I'd never met this lady in my life, but she was the one who was showcasing what the Ministry of Labor, I was not the minister then, was showcasing the program that they had of what was happening. And when the president came, we were told to combine the two issues of labor because of diaspora at that time. And I was there with my PS and others. So I was introducing the president to the people who are presenting. And if you watch the clip, I didn't even know her name. And she introduced herself. That was the only time that I ever met her. And after that meeting, I've never met her again. So I don't have any conflict of interest. I saw her stories later on about her. And those are things that...
Yeah, that is the drama. We do find things with drama. I think these are what we call the side shows. You know, people, things that are all supposed to get people off the track and are focusing on drama and side shows as opposed to the main issue. People want to focus on non-issues. But what is your opinion on his response about tackling the whole issue of people being abused and taken advantage of when they go to work in Dubai or Saudi or Qatar or Bahrain or basically in the Middle East? Your opinion?
My opinion on that has always been, it's so sickening how, like, you know, when you're in this country, it's not like you're told when you go there it's going to be like this. So it's just a matter of being blindsided.
Blindsided. Inakuwa short-sighted ama nini ama sijui ni gani hiyo.
Hard. Anyway, it's like being told a false narrative when you're here. For example, I also had a friend of hers was told that she was going to do customer care. Then anafika huko, she's being given like a maid job. So I feel like the thing is, nobody is going to just go there, especially now when we have had all these stories. The problem is there are even agencies that are like nikama con men. They're like telling you this is what you're going to do, pay us money, tutakuset up vizuri ukifika huko. And then you go there and it's just human trafficking, it's bad jobs, you know. So I think it's very scary, and people should really be cautious of going to these countries. Yeah.
I would actually also say sometimes you do find that the agencies, you know, they are agencies, and these are actually agencies that are not, maybe they are not well vetted, because you find people actually just being told, oh, kuna opportunities a job, maybe mnaenda Qatar, ama mnaenda Bahrain, ama whatever, or Oman, or all those places in the Middle East. But then again, these agencies, some of them are actually unscrupulous dealers. Unasikia kama there was a time there was one of the pastors from Roysambu who was also involved in a scandal like that, where he has an agency and people are paying so much money to be taken to these particular places, and then nothing happens. You know, that particular money, you know, does not go to the use it was supposed to go to. But there was also
and you can imagine.
Yeah.
You can imagine a pastor is someone you trust. Of course, if you're going to the church, you trust the pastor. So there's no way you are thinking this pastor is going to con me. So sometimes people are getting even more clever. Even the agencies, utapata, they are registered. It's believable. Because the more people are cautious about it, even the con men are getting more clever and clever. So I don't know. I just think going to these countries, specifically the Middle East, is just not
Yeah.
a safe option. Yeah.
And the problem is with the president keeps on telling people, oh, there are so many jobs out there, we are taking this number of nurses out there. But then again, how about local solutions to local problems? But nonetheless, there was also the issue of Inua Jamii, because that is also a social program. And this is for people who are not able to work. They are the elderly in the society. They are not able to work. So what will happen to them, and what will the government do in terms of trying to alleviate their problems? Because they're suffering. If you're old, you're not working, then you might also face a lot of problems. But let me share his answer, because Mutu was also, responding towards. He was also responding to the issue of how he will deal with that, and this was his answer regarding Inua Jamii program, which is supposed to be a program for social safety for people who are elderly and are also disadvantaged in society.
Mini, you can answer those three.
Thank you very, very much. Let me start with Honorable Mui on the issue of me. I think the challenge we've had with the Inua Jamii is that, and I've done my research, is that people have tried to be creative, and it is now improving, but it's an old syndrome, and that's why we have devolution, whereby you're giving 2,000 shillings to an old grandmother, and you want that grandmother to travel from the small village in the middle of nowhere and go for 100 kilometers to the county headquarters to get the money. But this eventually went down further, even to M-Pesa and other systems. And my study is that we are still not being able to get to the ground completely, to the people who are most deserving. And one of the things that I'll do is work closely with the county governments and also with the national government system to go to the village-based system, not only for identifying the people who deserve the Inua Jamii funds, but also to collect data of the ones who exit, but also on the payment module. Why should I spend 300 shillings to travel to get my money, or to the nearest M-Pesa place, because some of these old people don't have the M-Pesa monies, and then travel back, with the same money? So I'm going to find a system of getting the money to the people at their doorstep, more or less, in a progressive manner. As you know, we already have about close to 1.8 people in the system, and looking at how we can get
1.8 million or 1.8 people?
1.8 million beneficiaries. People, and now we want to move it to, according to what has been discussed in the cabinet I served in, close to 2.5, and continue to onboard them. But I'm also concerned, Mr. Speaker, about the classification.
That was a bit of the response by Alfred Mutua regarding Inua Jamii program. And he was saying that people use a lot of money to go get the other money. And he was saying that he will be working in liaison with the county governments to make sure that the money, they do not have to spend a whole lot of money to get the other money. But also the problem is with, sorry, someone is actually just trying to get me on the phone. Just a second here.
Specs may disappear. I think that's what the CS was saying. Actually, the fact that you have to get money, you have to get money through that kind of process is tiring. But I also think that unless it's done, like I'm at a point where politicians, by the way they say this, and then they make it seem like, oh, they're going to make life easy for you, and then nothing. So it's just a seeing and believing kind of time. Like we're on that type of time. Like just do it fast and then we will see. Yeah. Because also it's just a thing of being told something and then either it's not that beneficial or it's not going to be that helpful, because sometimes when you make things easier, it means that maybe it's not that easy. Like you're also making a transaction that you are unaware of. It's easier, yes, but also it's going to be beneficial to a third party or the person that has implemented the solution. You know, it's just like mobile banking. It's very easy, but also it's expensive because there's the charges. Mobile banking is often a very expensive way of just paying for stuff and having money, in your phone. It's very convenient, but at the same time, there's a reason why it's convenient. There's a reason why it's convenient, honestly. So I don't know, bro. There's just something about the CSs, politicians, it doesn't make sense. Umepotea kidogo.
I'm having a bit of a hit with the sound. Let me check if I could fix the sound. I couldn't hear the last bit of it. Let me see if I could fix the sound. Just a second here.
Yeah, I was actually talking about what he said. Umepotea tena. God damn it. Maybe we should move to another topic.
I guess you can you hear me?
Yes.
This sound is just letting me down today. I think it's what's going on. Okay, but you can go ahead, introduce the other topic about the release of the dancehall superstar Vybz Kartel. You can go ahead.
So the thing about the release, I'm a bit late about talking about that because it was actually last week. But also, I have been talking about Vybz Kartel and his sentence for a while. You can go to my channel, Young Force TV, and the specific show that I'm speaking about this topic is Keep It a Back. And I was there telling my audience about Vybz Kartel because I was covering his story right from when his lawyers started appealing for his release. They wanted to push for a retrial so that they can be able to go at it again and try to save him and for his sentence to be cut short because he's also suffering from a disease called Graves, a heart condition. So they
Is that
were
why his
pushing.
face is swollen? Is that why his
Yeah,
face is swollen? And also, I think
yeah, face swollen,
yeah.
extra skinny on the legs, like anakaa tu mgonjwa, you
Yeah.
know. So and then he also had it was like 4 others that were arrested with him and they were all released because the court systems were like they're not going to do the retrial, so they're going to throw away the case. So when they threw away the case, now they had to release all of them, the 5 people. And actually, Vibes had like a 35-year sentence. 35
That's
years.
too long.
Yeah, it's too long. But also,
was it involving the murder of the murder? Was involved in murder, or what was the case? Yeah.
It was a murder of, he's called Lizard Williams. And the thing with this case, there was no evidence that Vibes is actually the one that killed him because first his body was never found. There were rumors that obviously they cremated him, nini. So what actually made him go to jail is his recordings on his phone's video, so ilikuwa inamincriminate, but at the same time it was not a proper way to get evidence against him. So wangepeleka hiyo kwa appeal, he would most likely just be free again, because there's a way to bring evidence against someone, but they did it in the wrong way. So yeah, that was the thing. But also the heart condition was worsening, and he will probably be dead by now if they wouldn't release him, because the health facility in prison not adequate. He was getting worse and worse and worse and worse. Even now, people are actually like, he has to get the proper care, because when he was released, everyone was concerned. They were like, "Yo, Anaka, different. He doesn't look like the vibes we used to know." But I guess
he has changed a lot.
Yeah, he has changed. You
from what I do see. From what I do see, they're saying that the Graves disease is an autoimmune disorder that affects the thyroid gland and causes the body to produce excess thyroid hormone. He also has 2 heart conditions. In his health situation is considered life-threatening. That is what they are saying according to the health situation of Vibes Cartel. So I think it's not even one condition. He has 2 heart conditions, and also the Graves disease is also another one. So things are not looking really good.
Yeah, but at least there's a way
that. If you get to ask me, there's a big problem with that. I hope that he gets a medical attention.
Yeah.
Sorry,
because
come again.
When you have good health care and you're investing in your health, obviously he won't be like you won't get healed, obviously, with those kind of conditions, but there's an upkeep for you, especially when you have money. You can be able to get the right drugs, the right health care. So in prison, obviously, he wasn't getting any of that. Yeah,
I would agree with you 100% regarding that particular one, and we are hoping him also maybe recovery, or just him getting better in terms of his health. The problem is I've seen people even making memes and bad comments about it, and I'm just wondering, maybe it's because they are not informed of what is going on and his condition. And I've seen someone drawing him as a cartoon and things like that, which is really quite sad. But nonetheless, I want to sorry.
People are never informed. People go off with anything they see.
I do know of a lady. Who was a friend of mine. Was it about how many years ago? About maybe 4 years ago, 5 years ago. She actually also did have a condition where it related with the thyroid. The glands. Also, I think alifura kidogo hapa kwa shingo. And then eventually she died. What was her name? She actually died, and I was looking up that particular condition. She was looking okay, but then again she started alianza kufura shingo, and unfortunately, I think she did not also get the kind of. And the thing is, she was also starting to be a nurse. I think alikuwa daktari, but things go crazy. But anyhow, I do hope that Vibes Cartel will also get that particular medical attention or help that he needs, and things will actually turn for the better for him. We are winding up on today's episode. We shall not go much into a whole lot, but you guys make sure to join us on Wednesday and also on Friday at 3 p.m. Right here on this particular platform. And also make sure to check out the Young Force TV. There's a whole new video about some fashion designers that are really not, upcoming fashion designers, and they have been doing crochet work, and you can find that particular. Is it a mini documentary or how?
Yeah, it's like a mini documentary we did. It's showcasing what a model is there showcasing, and also 2 interviews in the documentary. Yeah, it was a nice video we did. Yeah, you check that out at Young Force TV.
Young Force TV on YouTube, guys. That is where you can actually find that particular one. It's actually on the screen, Young Force TV. and look for that particular video about the designers, the upcoming designers. They are doing quite well for themselves, and I like to see us promoting more creativity. I actually didn't know that Melita and her friend also did have their own brand, and I also learned about that on the video, which is quite interesting as well.
Yes.
But nonetheless,
we actually came up with a brand, Masai Exquisite Fashion. So obviously it was inspired by my culture because I'm from the Masai community, but I wanted something modern, not traditional. So I used the beads in a way, in a modern way, like the beads thing we use as a community. Then we came up with that. People were so excited about it fast, but keeping up with it, because it's an expensive brand, so you need to have like money to sustain a fashion brand. But I guess right timing, it has been the right time again.
I'm hoping very soon. There's also another lady who does also fashion design. I'm hoping very soon we can interview her on the platform as well. And also your other artist, her name was Truly Kimani. We are hoping very soon, maybe perhaps on a Friday, we can actually have an interview with her on the same. And anyone else that would love to connect with us on the platform and just talk about their art, it would be wonderful for them to join us on this particular podcast platform. But then again, I want to thank everyone for being with us, and also for Melita for being with us. Check her out on Young Force TV. And I want to wish everyone happy and a productive rest of the day. Till next time, my space love. I want to say kwaheri, goodbye. Unless maybe Melita has a closing remark.
No, I just wanted to ask you, but I don't want us to go into it, Sana. I just wanted to ask you about the Bien and Otile beef, if you know about it, and what are your comments?
I have no details about it, so I wouldn't really comment much on it. I have no details. I'll really check into that and I see what's going on. Sina details and sitakangi kuongelelea vitu sijui sana. Yeah, sina maoni, no comment on that. Dabs, I do see you saying following on lock. Thank you so much. That's a basketball trainer who is actually doing the most. Manze, we do hope that very soon. Yeah, we do hope that very soon, Manze, tutakuwa na tournament, Manze. We would love to have a tournament and tukue kwa ground. And he actually does very good at basketball coaching and also referee as a basketball coach, among many other things. Ni entrepreneur na vitu zingine mingi. So we would love to have you, maybe perhaps on the show, Manze, Robert Dabs, to join kwa show, Manze. We talk about sports.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you, Specs, do you do like one-on-one interviews?
Yeah, I would have. Last week I had a one-on-one interview right here. I did have one with a dancer who has been doing the most. I think you missed that interview.
No, like in person.
That was in person. Alikuwa hapa. The dancer was here, so I was doing in person interview. Alikuwa ameketi hapa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you missed.
Yeah, I wanted to also get into that a little bit. I used to do that, but I want to get back to it. But I think also getting people to interview and growing it, yeah. We can collabo.
That would be wonderful as well. Yeah, we shall focus and do that as well. For now, let me just wind it up here. Thank you so much, Robert, for joining us on the show. We appreciate you so much, and everyone else that did take us out. Asante sana, Melita. Asante sana. Na hiyo fashion line yenyu, keep it pushing. That is what we need to see more right here on the platform. Kwaheri, and I want to wish everyone happy and a productive rest of the day. Bye.
Adios.
Adios.